Tonight, we are exposing 5 of the most powerful psychological tactics. Right now, somewhere in America, someone is making a decision they think is entirely their own. A guy in Austin just bought a truck he can't afford. A college student in Boston just clicked buy now on a pair of sneakers she didn't know existed 2 minutes ago. They think they're in control. They're not. The truth is, your brain is constantly being steered by invisible psychological shortcuts. Tonight, we are exposing 5 of the most powerful psychological tactics used by the marketers, negotiators, and the politicians to control outcomes silently. The 5th one is so subtle that once you see it, you will realize your own family has probably used it on you this week. Let's dive in. The trick number 1, the power of silence. This trick can force people to change their minds without you saying a single word. Did the 2-second pause feel uncomfortable? That's because the human brain is hardwired to despise silence in social setting. Imagine you are negotiating a salary or a price on a Facebook marketplace. You state your number, the other person says absolutely nothing. 5-second pause, 10-second pause. The silence feels heavy. What do most people do? The panic talk? They start justifying their price, explaining themselves. Worst of all, lowering their own demands before the other person's even speaks. Professional negotiators know this. The person who can sit in discomfort the longest always win the conversations. You don't need to be in a corporate boardroom to experience weaponized silence. Think about the average arguments with a partner or a roommate. You confront them about something they did wrong. Instead of arguing back, they just look at you and stays completely quiet. The silence drives you so crazy that within 60 seconds, you start over-explaining. Yet your own discomfort forces you to back down and soften your stance. If you have ever fallen for this, hit that like button right now so YouTube knows you are practicing awarenesses. The trick number 2 is the door-in-the-face technique. Imagine you are walking down the street and a charity volunteer stops you. They ask, "Would you be willing to donate $500 today?" Your immediate reaction is absolutely not. You prepare to walk away, but then they immediately pivot. "I totally understand. Would you be willing to just do a one-time donation of the $15 instead?" Certainly $15 feels incredibly reasonable. You hand over your car. This is called the contrast effect. The $500 was never meant to succeed. It was a psychological anchor designed to make the $15 request look small. Car dealerships use it. Tech companies use it with their tiered pricing. And the corporate negotiators use it daily. The first below closes the door, the second below gets them inside. You see this in your social life all the time. Think about that one friend who always wants to go out. They text you, "Hey, let's take a weekend road trip to Miami." You are tired and you say no. Then they instantly hit you with, "Okay, well, at least let's just grab quick dinner tonight down the street." Because you've rejected their first huge request. Your brain feels the subconscious a way of guilty. You say yes to dinner just to relieve their tensions, even though you wanted to stay home in your sweatpants. You were just hit with the door-in-the-face technique. If you've ever fallen for this, drop an emoji in the comments. Let's see how many of us are guilty. Moving on. Now, if I told you someone could make you trust them instantly, just by acting like a mirror, that's the technique number 3, the mirror effect. Have you ever met a stranger when you instantly felt like you have known them for years? It might not be a fate, it might be a script. Humans naturally trust people who remind them of themselves. High-level salespeople and elite interviews use a tactic called psychological mirroring. They subtly match your body language, your vocal tone, and even your specific word choices. In a famous psychological study, waiters who simply repeated the customer's orders back to them word for word saw their tips skyrocket by over 68%. They did not change the food, they just reflected the customer's identity back at them. This happened on every single first date in America. Next time you are out at an restaurant, look at the couples who are deeply infatuated. The one person leans forward and they rest their chin on their hands. The other person will subconsciously do the exact same thing a few seconds later. If one person talks fast and use their hands, the other person's energy's level spikes to match it. On dating apps or in attacks in groups, look at the word choice. If someone starts using the same slang or emojis you use, they are mirroring you to break down your defense. We are hardwired to love reflections of ourselves. But mirroring takes time. If you want to influencing millions of people in a split second, we use the nuclear options of marketing. The trick no 4, the fear of missing out. Why do millions of Americans panic, buy concert tickets, or jump into or tie crypto trends? It's driven by a psychological mechanisms called the loss aversions. Evolutionary, our ancestors feared losing a resource far more than anticipated gaining a new one. Today, tech platforms exploit this instant glitch. Only 2 seats remaining bypass your logical brain and trigger an immediate shot of the cortisol. It forces you to act out of the fear of missing out, rather than the actual utility. Urgency sells comfort, sits on the shelf. This technique just not used by the ticket master or Amazon. It used in our daily life. Have you ever been casually talking to someone and you are not even sure if you like them that much? You take hours to reply to their texts, but suddenly you find out that they're going on a date with someone else this weekend. Instantly, your brain triggers a massive wave of jealousy and attractions. Did you really become a better person overnight? Their value skyrockets in your mind simply because their availability dropped. The fear of losing them makes you want them 10 times more. Which brings us to the final most dangerous technique on our list, the one used to alter your perceptions of reality itself. Trick no 5, emotional framing. This final technique is the most strangest because it doesn't change what you see. It changes how you see it. Imagine a doctor looks at you before a major surgery and says, "You have a 90% chance of survival." You feel an instant wave of relief. Now imagine they walked in and said, "You have a 10% chance of dying on this table." The math is identical, the reality is unchanged, but your emotional state is completely inverted. This is framing. It's used by the news network to dedicate the political narratives, by marketing firms to disguise products' flaws, and by the corporate leaders to spin bad news. If you control the frame, you control the reality. You experience framing every time you go to the fast casual restaurant. When you look at the menu, it doesn't say as a processed meat and 800 calories of the carbohydrate. It frames it a fresh local source ingredients or a build your own healthy bowl. Think about the office politics. If a manager slays off 10% of the staff, they don't say we fired your friends to save money. They frame it as, we are the streamlining our organization structure to optimize future growth. Same grim reality, completely different emotions package. If you control the frame, you control the mind. So which of these 5 tricks you have noticed the most in your daily life? Comment below. The goal of understanding dark psychology is not to become a master of the manipulator. It's to build a shield against it. The moment you recognize these triggers in real life, their power over you completely vanishes. You stop reacting emotionally and you start seeing the game for what it is. If you want to know how the world really operates behind the scenes, hit subscribe. In our next video, we are breaking down the exact psychological tactics used by the history's most dangerous cult leaders. Stay sharp. I will see you in the next one.